Welcome to PLB After Hours. I'm Matthew Timler, CEO and owner of Plug Light Bulb Electrical Services.
I'm Salomon De Jesus.
Nice to see you here, Salo. Thanks for taking the time to come in here.
Oh, for sure, brother, anytime.
Can you share your story about how you got started with us?
I got back from Mexico and it was my senior year. And I had to do the GED program and I passed it pretty quick. So my guidance counselor said that I qualified for a FAFSA and it was basically trades. So I was between like HVAC technician and carpentry and electrical, but I wanted to do either carpentry or electrical. So I basically tossed a coin and it was electrical. So then I went with it for, a while. And I kind of went through different jobs, but every job I was I worked with, they were not really like about what they said they were. They would just kind of like treated everyone like a number and stuff. And eventually, like, I lost my drive to keep on like trying to improve. But then I saw you guys on Facebook and I don't know, man, you had like that Captain America, It was like Steve Rogers was letting us know, it's time to assemble. But yeah, I basically saw you guys, like what you guys were standing for and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to get back into like residential because I did more like industrial stuff. But I like doing residential because you get to like make people happy and whatnot, or like help people that are in need. So yeah, that's how I ended up here.
You have added a lot of laughs and smiles to the company, and you have made a lot of people happy. What's the running bet that we have going on right now for your PS5?
Oh, sheesh. If I can get 150, right?
Yeah.
150 5-star reviews, I'm getting a PS5.
And in all honesty, you're probably at like 30 or 40 already.
Oh,
like
man.
You are just killing it out there right now. Everybody, it seems like every single person that comes in contact with you they seem like they have to leave a review. And then we call them and we're like, hey, why'd you leave Sal a review? And they're like, he bribed us.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. Oh, damn. Right.
No. So some people wonder like when to call an electrician. Like in your opinion, when do they need to make that phone call? When do they have to call us? Or like when do you think they should do it themselves?
I think definitely if they see like sparks and stuff like that, definitely don't mess with that thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's pretty clear indication that you want to call somebody who can handle these sparks. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, or just like whenever they don't feel safe, like, or if like something doesn't smell right, you know what I mean? Like in your living room, something smells like it's cooking, it shouldn't be cooking. You know what I'm saying? I think you should call somebody for sure. Besides that, I think some people are pretty handy.
That's good.
So
That's good advice. If it smells like it's about to burn down, it's probably going to burn down.
yes, sir.
So for a lot of people, electrical systems aren't really top of mind. Talk to us about some of the most overlooked issues that you've like ran into in the field.
I think a lot, like something that happens a lot is when people overload circuits, like they will just like throw like surge protectors on surge protectors on surge protectors, bro, and like have this whole layout there's a limit, and for them, the limit is when it starts tripping.
Yeah.
And you get there and they're just like, yeah, I have no idea, man. Like I've been running my little mini refrigerator and my little, pizza oven and, my PC and everything for like a good 6 months. And now it decided to not work anymore. Well, it's like, come on, bro, fridges aren't meant to be in rooms. You know what I mean? Fridge is supposed to be in, get your dog. But yeah, I'd say something like that, or like GFCIs. Like if you don't see a GFCI in your bathroom or like on the countertop, like definitely do something about that because that's like a safety thing.
So for those of us who don't really know what a GFCI is, what is that, homie?
Hey yo, I knew I was gonna do knowledge checks anytime. uh, a GFCI is a ground fault circuit interrupter.
There's so many times that customers call us and they're saying, hey, this isn't working, like it's in the bathroom or it's throughout other portions of the house. And a lot of times it's the GFCI. And I guess what I was really getting at there was it's that rectangular receptacle that's in your house that has a test and a reset button on
The
it.
two
Go push
buttons.
that reset button.
Yeah,
You're gonna save yourself a phone call.
yeah, for sure.
But what it actually does is there's two little things in there called current transformers. And in layman's terms, they sit there and they monitor the hot and the neutral. So, and if there's any sort of difference in potential to ground on either one of those, it trips it because it means that there's a less resistive path for it to flow and it potentially is putting a human in harm's way. So, what is a safety tip you have for some customers out there
Safety
or
tip.
other electricians?
A safety tip, I guess, for electricians is always check for power.
Oh, yeah.
Always
That's a
check
good
for
one.
power. You know, I can't remember how many times
Dude, I
I've
turned it off.
tried
Though.
to. Yeah,
I turned it off.
you know, trust people, trust yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's your life out there. Got to be responsible.
How many times would you say that you've been shocked from somebody saying it was off and it wasn't off?
Too many times, bro. Way too many times.
Yeah. You
But
carry
we're
that
still
little.
kicking though.
Yeah. Barely.
Barely.
Yeah.
It's true.
No, I'm just kidding.
I was kidding.
Yeah. Carrying a tick tester is super important.
For sure.
What about one of your favorite jobs? Is there anything that stands out there like that was awesome? I love that.
I've had a couple. I mean, no, I've had a lot of cool jobs. As far as like how things look, like a lot of the Tesla jobs come out pretty well. Like their panels, their gateways look pretty sick. So I think we do a pretty good job on that stuff. But as far as like favorite jobs are like the ones where you actually get to help people. Like I had one up north once where there was like this lady's like power went out because a tree fell down and her main breaker tripped, but it was a pushmatic. So like it was more on than off, you know, where it shows a little indicator.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, she had like two contractors come in and they looked at that thing. And then like within like 5 seconds, they were like, oh no, yeah, like your panel is trash. Like we need to replace it like ASAP. Which I mean, you know, you would want to replace a pushmatic, you know what I'm saying? But like she didn't have the resources to do that, you know what I mean? So she had two contractors come in and they said like right off the bat, like you need to replace this. Like there's nothing we can do. Like didn't even try troubleshooting it a little bit or like nothing. And then she had some HVAC guy come in and he looked at the furnace and he's like, "Oh yeah, you're going to need a new furnace. Like this motor's not working and there's other stuff that's not working. You're going to need a furnace." And then she's just like, "Oh, well, you know, like so when I got there she was like, "Yeah, if you could please just try to look at it, like actually look at it." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I got you." And then like her basement was like flooding cuz the sump pump wasn't on. So then I opened up the panel and then like I checked, you know, for voltage on top and I had 240 and on the bottom of the main breaker I only had, you know, half of it. So then I just pushed the breaker in, you know, basically reset it. And then everything came back on. And then like, you know, like the refrigerator came on because like she had a bunch of food that went bad.
Yeah.
And like I went to go check the furnace and the furnace wasn't on yet. And the sump pump, you know, that thing was working, bro. But then the furnace, it had like an additional like a little breaker for it in the basement. So that thing was just tripped too. So I just reset that and the furnace was working again. So like the furnace, the sump pump, you know, everything had stopped flooding and like everything was back on. So like she gave me a hug and stuff. Well, first she asked, obviously she was like, "Yo, can I give you a hug?" And I was like, "Sure, sure." And like her kids were like grateful and stuff. And I just felt really good. So I think that one was my favorite for sure.
Yeah, I actually totally agree with you. I think that's some of the coolest times in our job. Like when we get to help people and they're so thankful and grateful, and it's like you almost feel like a superhero, but like you don't want to feel like a superhero in the
Yeah.
moment. But like it is a really cool feeling, especially when you see that they had all that devastation like happening internally and externally, and all of that weight just gets lifted off of their shoulders. I definitely totally agree with you. I think that's one of the coolest things about our job.
Hell yeah.
Generally, people are not calling us when they're having good times.
Yeah.
Normally, it's like something has gone wrong. So, you got a lot of amazing reviews, and outside of the comment of me saying that you bribed them, why do you think that is?
When I was young, I used to live on a farm, with a friend of mine. He wasn't actually a relative. He kind of took me in because my family also had some problems, and it was kind of hard to support all of us. So he took me in, and when I met him, I wasn't the nicest kid. I was kind of bad, you know, but he like raised me for a good 2 years, and from those 2 years, he always told me just to say, be thankful for what you have. Always say you're welcome and thank you and please and excuse me, and open the door for people to pass through. Doesn't matter if you're there for like 15 minutes, people are still passing through the door. Be nice, you know what I'm saying? And just be respectful. Even if people, say like, oh, like this guy's a douche. Technically, he hasn't done anything to you yet, so just be respectful. So I think that's pretty much it. And then like if you go into some people's houses and sometimes they can't do things, so like don't judge them either. Everyone's got something going on, so that's pretty much it. But there's no like special thing. I don't like ask to wash the dishes or anything like that. I even know I would, because there's a PS5 on the line, dude. I wash them dishes for sure. Mow the lawn, walk the dog.
We're gonna send you to go ahead and outlet, and you're gonna come back and be like, I mowed his lawn,
Yeah.
I did his laundry,
Yeah.
I did everything for this
Yeah.
dude. It's respectable. I'm glad you really like helping people at the core of your heart, because it's super important to me, and I feel like that's why you and I get along whenever we get to talk. You're a pretty cool dude.
Thank you.
What's one piece of advice you got for those people out there thinking about becoming electricians? What should they do and what shouldn't they do?
I say just jump into it. I did college, but I've met a lot of guys who have done the college course and stuff like that too. Like I think like if someone's willing to give you a chance, just jump into it. And if like this is like a trade that's always changing, it's always evolving, and like you will always keep on learning. There's like you're never gonna peak out. So just if you're interested in just keep on learning, and like I said, never peak, just consistently be better at something,
Yeah.
than being an electrician, dude.
It is crazy how much the industry has changed. Like it's even from when I first got in, things have evolved so much, even as far as like hand tools. That's you guys are so spoiled with all of the drills and like battery powered tools that you get to use. And I sound like I'm super old, but I'm only 30. But like so much has changed so rapidly in our industry.
Just kidding. I'm sorry, bro. Keep going, bro.
Dude, I think you're older than me, aren't you?
I'm 25, bro.
Oh,
I may
dang.
look rougher.
I doubt that, dude. Cool. Events.
Events.
How are our events?
Our events are pretty cool, bro. I know we had like a car wash and stuff like that.
I'm at the most
I've been
recent one,
lacking. I've been lacking at the stuff,
the Tradesman Day.
Tradesman Day. Tradesman Day was fire. Tradesman Day was fire. We had like I never had a Panera sandwich before. We had Panera sandwiches, and we were sumo wrestling. I didn't partake in the wrestling because I'm very vicious.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to smoke. Not even Matt.
No, I didn't want to smoke.
He didn't want it.
No.
So it's like I wasn't challenged, so I'm not gonna go out of my way to challenge somebody. But no, yeah, it was definitely very fun. I think everyone at work, like I get along with everybody. There's no one I don't get along with. And if I do, or if anyone like doesn't get along with somebody, like we just talk it out, and work it out. So like all of our events are pretty lit. Christmas party, PS5s are gonna be at the Christmas party, dude, with the new Dragon Ball Z game. But yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah. So you're pretty happy you became an electrician?
Yeah, I am now.
Yeah, you have grown a lot. Like I watched you when you first came in and you were like all sheepish and shy and like reserved. And now you're just like a huge ball of energy that is willing to I love how you take the time to like train the new guys too. Like you have so much patience with them and they all have nothing but great things to say about you. So I'm super happy you decided to join our team. And do you think there's anything else that anybody should know about electricians? Is there like stereotypes that
Oh, yeah. Everyone thinks that we don't know how to use a broom. We know how to use a broom, dude. We've got vacuums and shit. You know, we're not pigs, bro. You know, all that stuff about us just leaving our shit around everywhere is a stereotype, dude.
yeah,
Or at least at PLB it is, you know. We have to, you know, if there was dirt there before, we still got to pick it up, you know, or else Matt has his. Never mind, I can't disclose what I have to say. Just kidding. Just kidding.
yeah, I'm kicking him under the
Yeah.
table right now. He's about to get me in trouble. So
No, yeah, but for sure though, like we actually do clean.
yeah,
You know, people think we don't clean, but we do clean.
yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us and
Yeah, no
at
problem,
least
dude.
share some of your experience because I think it's extremely valuable that other people get to hear about electricians and like the possible courses that you can kind of go through and what day in and day out looks like because it can be a lot of fun, but it can also be scary and it can also be kind of tormenting at times too. So cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Salo.
No problem, dude.